Come on, Mossop, now. You can do it. One more time.
Mossop.
Oh, phew. That was a job and a half, that was.
Are you all right, Mossop?
Oh, yes, I'm all right, thanks, Marjorie. Not the easiest thing in the world to take off, aren't riddling boots.
Mossop, just look at your sock.
Well, I'm looking at it, Tiddler. Doesn't appear to be doing anything. What's supposed to happen, would you tell me that?
No, I mean, look at it. There's a big hole in it.
Oh, I think it's quite a good idea having a hole in your sock. Lets the air through to your feet, a hole does.
It looks awful. You ought to darn it.
Well, I'm busy doing other things at the moment, aren't I, Tiddler? I've got my riddling boot to polish. Maybe I'll darn it later.
Pass it to me. I'll do it. May I borrow some wool and a needle, Marjorie?
Of course, Tiddler. Help yourself.
Thank you.
What do you use on your riddling boots, Mossop? Shoe polish?
Certainly not, Marjorie. That's what human people use. Riddlers use something much better than that. Mud and beeswax. That's what we use.
Mud and beeswax?
That's it, Marjorie. That's the stuff. Lovely brown mud to give your boots some colour, and beeswax to make them shine.
Oh, hello, Mr Grimley. How are you today?
Very well, thank you, Miss Daw, but I wonder if I could ask you something.
Of course.
Tell me, would you say I looked smart?
Well,
No, be perfectly truthful. Am I smart?
Well, to be perfectly truthful, you're not the smartest man I've ever seen, no.
In fact, I'm a bit scruffy, really, aren't I?
That's it, Mr Grimley. That's the word we were looking for. Yes, scruffy is what you are, all right?
Well, I wouldn't quite go that far,
No,
Mossop.
he's right, Miss Daw. I am scruffy. I know I am. I've never really been smart.
Well, I don't think that really matters. I don't think it's important what a person looks like. It's what they're like inside that counts. If you're a nice person, it doesn't matter whether you're smart or not.
Oh, well said, Tiddler. I couldn't agree more.
No, but you see, it is important for me to look smart today. I've got an interview for a new job.
What's an interview?
Oh, well, the people who are offering the job will want to meet Mr Grimley and talk to him and see what he's like, and that's called an interview.
And they'd expect me to look smart, won't they? And I don't, do I?
That you don't, Mr Grimley, that you most certainly don't. Haven't you got any neater clothes than those to wear?
Well, no, that's the trouble, and I can't afford to buy any new ones.
Well, if you washed and ironed those, I'm sure they'd look fine.
Yes, but there isn't the time. You see, the interview's today, and... Oh, I did so want to get that job.
Oh, well, that really is a problem, isn't it?
Well, don't worry, Mr Grimley. Problem solving is what riddlers do best. Just leave this to me.
Well, perhaps if we all have a think, we might come up with some good ideas.
No need to bother, Marjorie. I've got it. Your worries are over, Mr Grimley. Just wait there. I'll be right back.
I've had an idea too, Marjorie. I must go and speak to someone.
Oh, well, then give me this, then.
Well, it seems that riddlers really can be useful to have around.
Well, I'd wait and see what the ideas are if I were you. Some of Mossop's plans can go a bit wrong sometimes.
Oh, Simon, I've got something to ask you. Why is it that cats always manage to look so smart and neat and tidy?
Oh, but they don't. Not all cats.
Most of them do. You always look smart.
Yes, I suppose I do. I've always taken a pride in my appearance.
I can tell. But if riddlers or human people want to look smart, they can put on smart clothes. You can't do that, can you? You've just got your fur.
True. And the way to keep it looking smart is by grooming.
Grooming?
Yes. That's how a cat makes sure he always looks his best. Grooming. Let me tell you a little story. My Uncle Hartley was the best-groomed cat you could hope to meet. His mother, Maria, saw to that. His eyes were green and his coat was grey, except for his 4 white paws. My uncle was the kindest, most gentle creature, excellent in every way, except for one thing. He didn't like grooming. Well, this was all right when he was small and his mother washed him. But when he grew older, never a lick of the paw did he give himself. One day, my Uncle Hartley left home to seek his fortune. "Goodbye," he said. "You may never see me again, but I will write." "Goodbye," said his mother, Maria. She didn't seem very upset by the thought that she may never see her son again. She sat in a corner and washed, first her ears, and then her face, and then her paws and tail, and then she curled herself round and fell into a light doze with one green eye half open. Outside, clouds began to gather, and down came the rain. My uncle had reached the end of the long lane. He hadn't found his fortune, and standing there in the rain, he decided he would go home. Great was his surprise when the hedgehogs and shrews drew their children deeper into the hedge as he trotted past. "Hush, hush," they said to their shivering broods. "The fearful black fiend will soon pass by." Fearful black fiend, thought my uncle. He looked behind him, but could see no such creature. My uncle was very upset by this, but worse was in store when he reached his home. His mother, Maria, shooed him straight out again with a broom. "Be off with you, black fiend," she cried. "It's not a black fiend, it's your son, Hartley," cried my uncle. And it was only by his green eyes that his mother at last recognized him, or so she said. When at last my uncle sat in his corner, he began to groom himself. First he licked his ears, then his face, and then his tail and paws. As he groomed, he purred with happiness.
Do you suppose human people could groom themselves?
Oh, yes. Not like cats do, of course. But they can keep their hair and skin and nails clean, can't they? If they did that, they'd look well groomed.
Yes, that's something that Mr Grimley could do. Thank you, Simon. You've been a great help.
Not at all. Any time.
Where is he, Marjorie? What have you done with Mr Grimley? That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, he's gone to change out of his clothes. We haven't got time to wash and iron them, so we thought if we brushed the dust out of them and sewed a few buttons on, he might look a bit smarter.
Oh, there's no need to bother tidying up his old clothes, Marjorie. I've got some new ones here for him.
Here we are, Mr.
Mr Grimley! You wait till you see what I've got for you.
Well, what is it?
Some new clothes. Just have a look at them, eh?
Well, they're very nice, Mossop, but, do you think they might be a bit on the small side?
Oh, Mossop, Mr Grimley couldn't possibly wear those. They're much too small.
Well, I don't know about that, Marjorie. I borrowed them off a rather large Riddler, actually, I did. Old Grubup's a good size, you know. Fat as a barrel, actually, and tall as well.
Well, he can't be as tall as Mr Grimley, can he?
No, they're very nice, Mossop, and it was a lovely thought, but I don't really think I'll be able to squeeze into these, so they're not really much use.
It was a good thought, though, Mossop.
Marjorie, Mr Grimley, I've got it.
Got what?
The answer to your problem, Mr Grimley. Grooming.
Grooming?
Yes, making sure that you look clean and neat. You could start by brushing your hair.
Why, well, I suppose that's not a bad idea. I must admit, I haven't had time to brush it yet today. Is it a bit untidy then, is it?
It does look as though you've just walked through a holly bush, backwards, twice, and that's a fact, that is.
And let me see your nails.
What for?
Just let me see them, please.
Ooh.
Mr Grimley.
Well, I suppose they're not very clean, really, are they? Perhaps I'll give them a good scrubbing after I've brushed my hair.
And, perhaps a shave?
Oh, right.
Oh, and before you go, Mr Grimley, leave me your boots. I'll put a lovely shine on them with some mud and beeswax.
Oh, you're not putting mud on these boots. There's enough on them already.
Well, Mossop always uses mud and beeswax on his boots, Mr Grimley, and I've never seen anyone with shinier boots.
Oh, all right then, here you are. I hope I get this job after going to all this trouble.
I can't wait to see him looking well groomed.
If he looks too well groomed, we won't recognise him, Marjorie. Well, these will take some cleaning and no mistake. Still, if it helps him get that there job.
There's a couple of buttons missing off this shirt, so if you'll sew some new ones on, Tiddler, I'll brush the dust out of these trousers.
Of course, Marjorie.
Oh, my goodness, I wonder when the last time he brushed these was. Still, we'll soon have him looking smart.
Take a pride in your appearance, everybody should. Take a pride in your appearance and you'll feel so good. Take a pride in your appearance, you'll look your best. Everyone who sees you will be so impressed. You'll be bright and full of confidence as round about you stride. When with your appearance you've taken pride. Take a pride in your appearance as you brush your clothes.
Take a pride in your appearance as the needle sews.
Take a pride in your appearance, your boots must shine. Everyone you meet will tell you, don't they just look fine?
You'll look smart and neat from head to feet as round about you stride. When with your appearance you've taken pride. When with your appearance you've taken pride.
There, they look much better. Now, shall I help you with that sewing, Tiddler?
Oh, no, thank you, Marjorie. I've finished.
Yeah, so have I. My word, look at the shine on those boots. You can see your face in those, you can, and that's a very pleasant prospect indeed when you're as good-looking as what I am.
Well, will you take these to Mr Grimley, please, Mossop?
Be my pleasure, Marjorie.
That was a very good idea of yours, grooming, Tiddler.
Well, it wasn't really my idea. It was Simon who suggested it.
Simon, who's that?
You know, Simon, the cat. He told me how he grooms himself so he always looks smart.
He told you? Oh, yes. I sometimes forget that you can talk to animals. I wish I could.
Perhaps I could teach you one of these days.
Well, do you think you could? That would be wonderful. Imagine getting grooming lessons from a cat. And Simon was right, you know, grooming is very important for humans and animals.
That's true, that is, Marjorie. And now prepare yourself to meet the very well-groomed, the very smart, spick and span, Mr Grimley!
Hey! Mr Grimley, what an improvement!
Do I look all right?
You look very smart. Clean clothes, shiny boots, neat hair, nails. Very nice. I think you're sure to get that job now.
So do I. What exactly is this job, Mr Grimley?
It's a job as a chimney sweep.
Did you say a job as a chimney sweep?
You mean a man who cleans chimneys and usually ends up covered from head to toe in soot?
Yes, that's right. What's so funny about that?